Wargamers, we finally know when 8th edition is going to hit the shelves and what is going to come with it. So let's talk about this announcement. Let's see what's actually going to be coming out for us in just a few short weeks here, and what it means for us as Wargamers. Before we do that, though, I want to say thanks for watching. If you like this video, if you like any of my other videos, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell as well. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming 8th edition videos. Alright, so what did we find out? Well, pre-orders for 8th edition and all the associated releases are going to start on the 3rd of June, and then the actual 8th edition rulebook and everything else is going to hit shelves on the 17th. So that's just a couple weeks away. So if you haven't started saving yet, start keeping those quarters, keeping those pennies in a piggy bank, and get ready to spend some money. So, all right, what are we getting? Of course, we're getting a new rule book, but we're getting a lot more than that. We're getting a whole new starter box. It's called Dark Imperium. You know, Dark Vengeance, Dark Imperium, sure, that's what we're going with now. And it features the Primaris Marines versus the new Plague Marines with Death Guard. So basically, the Imperium side, the Primaris Marines, includes 2 intercessor squads, which are the Marines that we've already seen before. They're basically the souped up tactical Marines. It includes a Hellblaster squad, which are basically the same intercessor squad with plasma weapons. They all have plasma guns, and basically see these guys filling a role somewhere between a tactical Marine and a Devastator squad. And maybe this is an indicator of what we're actually going to see from the Primaris Marines in general, as far as what their battlefield roles are going to be. I think they're just going to be like a hybrid between tactical Marines and the existing archetypes within the Space Marine army. So the Hellblaster squad is like a more mobile Devastator squad with not quite as heavy weaponry, potentially. And the Inceptor squad are a hybrid between tactical Marines and jump Marines or assault Marines. So they have these really awesome jump packs and like little like landing feet. You know, basically like these little springy stilts that they land on, which is really cool. I really like the model. It looks awesome, and yes, it looks like a lot of other sci-fi jump Marine type things. So StarCraft, whatever you name it, there's something that looks similar to this, but I don't care. I think it looks really cool. So again, I think these guys are going to be kind of a hybrid between assault Marines and tactical Marines. They have two bolters or maybe both pistols, but they look really cool. And then of course we have a slew of HQ choices or characters associated with the Primaris Marines as well. For Death Guard, we have a unit of Plague Marines, which again, the models here look amazing. We have a unit of Poxwalkers, which are basically the new zombies, based on the Death Guard faction focus, which I'll link in the description below, as well as everything else I talk about. You can take a look at that, but basically they're zombies. And then I think one of the more exciting releases inside this new Dark Imperium box is the Bloat Drone, which looks a lot like the old Plague Drone from Forge World. So presumably it's going to have some similar characteristics to that in terms of gameplay as well. And additionally, we have a few more Death Guard special characters as well. So it looks like there's a sorcerer and stuff like that in there. So very cool release. The army's in there, the models in there look fantastic, but probably the thing that most people are going to be interested in are the rule books and what you actually have to buy. Of course, if you buy the Dark Imperium box, you get a rule book with it, along with a few other goodies, but a lot of people are just going to be going out and buying the rule book by itself, myself included. So the new rule book, 280 pages, more than 100 of those pages are fluff, are lore, so non-rule stuff. But you need to buy this new rule book to get access to the full slate of rules, meaning the core rules, which are going to be about a dozen pages that you can download as a PDF for free, in addition to the advanced rules, which are going to have things like your mission objectives, your stratagems, your special rule sets for the three different types of games to play. So open, narrative, and match play. If you want to play match play, you need to buy the hardcover physical copy of the rules in order to do that. And I should have known. I should have known that that was going to be the case, right? Of course, they're not going to give away all the rules as an easy PDF. When they announced 8th edition, they said that the General's Handbook for Age of Sigmar was one of their most successful products, and of course it was, because you needed it to actually play the game in a way people were accustomed to. So of course they're going to do the exact same thing here, where they release the core rules as a free PDF, and if you want to keep playing the way that you have been, you have to buy this new rulebook. So am I disappointed? Yes. Did I have a feeling that this was going to be the case? Did they basically say this was going to be the case? Yeah. But still, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to be forced to buy this rulebook to continue playing. I was hoping that if I wanted to, I could just use the PDF, and then if I found it more convenient or desirable to have the lore or any of those other things, I could buy the hardbound book and have the benefit of that, but not be forced to if I want to continue playing match play. But that's not the case. So you do have to buy the new rulebook if you want to keep playing. But there are a few other perks to this. I think it's going to be one of the best rulebooks that GW has come out with. They have, like I said, all these extra things that you can't get from the PDF in the rulebook, which, you know, pluses and minuses there. But it's going to compile all these disparate rulebooks that we've had in the past into one publication. So Cities of Death, Planet Strike, Death from the Skies, and I'm missing one other one, but they are all, Stronghold Assault. Duh. Stronghold Assault, all these rules are going to be in the new rule book, so you don't have to buy those extra books. All those books are being wrapped back into the main rule book, which is the way it should have been in the first place in a lot of ways. But you know, 6th and 7th edition got us used to buying all these different books, and now they're kind of bringing it back in and consolidating everything, which is nice. So I'm glad that they're doing that, and that's definitely a pro in terms of this new rule book. In addition to that main core rulebook that we're looking at, they have basically stopgap indices, or these indexes that are compilations of rules for each of the different armies. There's going to be 2 indices that focus on the Imperium, one index that focuses on Chaos, and then 2 indices that focus on Xenos. Basically, the split for Xenos is Necrons and Eldar in one, and then everyone else in the other. So pretty straightforward. If you play multiple armies and are lucky enough to have them all fit within one of those indices, that's good for you. If you play multiple armies and they're spread across multiple indices, I'm sorry. But again, you'll want to pick up those books when they hit the shelves in just a couple weeks. Now, they said that these were going to be affordable books and that they weren't going to be super expensive, and I hope that that's true. I think especially because these are stopgaps, I need them to be less than $30 for me really to be okay with it, because these are books that are going to be replaced for the current rule set for 8th edition. It's not like they're going to be replaced for 9th edition or 10th edition or anything like that sometime down the road. We have no idea how long these rules are going to be valid for. And so if these rules cost $50 and, you know, 3 months down the road they come out with a codex that replaces it for me, I'm going to feel like I got taken for a ride. So I'm okay paying you know, $20-30 for a compilation of bare bones rules for multiple armies if it gets me, you know, a fair amount of time to play. But if it's going to be replaced right away, it just doesn't seem worth it. So I mean, again, I have no idea when the new codices are going to be coming out, so I'm going to have to buy it anyway. But I'm not feeling great about this, assuming that the price is higher than $30, which I don't know. It might yeah, it might not be, it might be, I don't know. But I'm hoping that they keep the price reasonable on this to make it not feel like we're getting taken for a ride. I'm optimistic, but you know, if it ends up not going my way, I won't be surprised. In addition to these indices, we're getting a bunch of neat accessories too that are going to be released alongside the new rulebooks. They have tactical objective cards, which we should be used to by now. It's unclear if these are going to completely replace old ones. My guess is yeah, because everything else is getting completely replaced. So why not make you spend another $10 on tactical objective cards? So if you want those, you'll have to pick those up. Command dice, I have no idea what those are, but they're coming out. If you know what they are, please let me know in the comments below. A combat gauge, which I'm assuming is just like a quick measure. I don't know what that is either. Presumably it's just like a template to help you measure things more efficiently. But again, if you have an idea of what that is, please let me know. Wound trackers, you know, a lot of people complained in some of these earlier videos about, oh my God, there's going to be so many wounds. How am I going to keep track of all of these wounds? Hey, don't worry. There is an accessory for that, and GW has you covered. They got wound counters for you, so you can pick those up and problem solved. Or, you know, you could do like what I'm going to do and just use dice. So either way. And of course, objective markers are coming out, and these objective markers are really nice. They look to be very high quality, just like all of GW's models are, but they look fantastic. So I'm excited about these new objective markers. They look really cool. One other thing that is coming out, and yes, it's another book you have to buy. The Forge World rules are not going to be included in the indices or in the core rulebook. Instead, they are going to be in their own separate publications, just like they've always been. But they are doing the exact same thing as mainline GW. So they are compiling all of the existing Forge World rules into indices. So right now there are 2 indices announced. The first is for Space Marines for Star Rays, and the second is for Chaos. So that leaves out all sorts of people like Imperial Guard and Xenos. Those guys are going to get their own indices by the end of June. So again, not ready yet, so you do have to wait to find out how your Xenos or Imperial Guard armies are going to play with Forge World until, you know, probably a few additional weeks, but eventually you will get those rules. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not much later, but still, it's kind of annoying that it's not just ready to go along with everything else. Like, why is there just a couple weeks difference? You'd think that they would have that ready, or at least not announce the pre-order date until it was ready. Like, we don't know the difference. There's no reason for us that it has to be on the 17th. Why can't it be a week or 2 later if that's when all of it is going to be ready to go? Why launch with an incomplete product? I don't get that. And I'd rather just have everything ready to go at once. But yes, you do have to buy the Forge World books again to be able to use your Forge World models, which, you know, really shouldn't be a big surprise because, of course, you've always had to buy separate Forge World books. And in the past, those books would last a long time because, you know, Forge World doesn't get updated that often. So a Forge World book investment lasts a while. This time, again, I don't know how long this is going to last. So maybe this is a better investment than the mainline GW indices because they won't get updated very often. So the book that you buy, the index that you buy for Forge World might last you longer, which is good. That would make me feel better about that purchase, but still, not sure why it's not ready, but there it is. Overall, I'm glad that we have a date. I'm glad that we know when this is going to hit the shelves. I know a lot of people were kind of getting sick of the titration of information that's coming in, just drip, drip, drip. We don't know exactly when things were going to be released, and now we do. Now we know what is happening and when, and so that's great. Again, the big thing that kind of ruffles my feathers, rustles my jimmies, if you will, is that I don't know what the cost is. I wish they would have just told us that. They give us all this other information. Why not just tell us what the cost is right off the bat? Because that's the number one question now, right? Is how much is it going to cost? And I'm disappointed that I need to buy so many books all at once. And I don't know how long they're going to be good for. Buying the main rulebook, I'm fine with that. That was to be expected. I got my hopes up about not needing to do that, but you know what? That's fine. Having to buy all of these temporary indices makes me nervous. I'm not super jazzed about that. I wish that we had the downloadable PDFs. And I think I said the complete opposite thing a while ago, but now that it's here, I feel like having a downloaded PDF would be better in some ways, because then I'm not out, you know, 30, 40 bucks in 2 months when the new Tau Codex comes out, which again, it probably won't actually happen. They said that they're not going to be focusing on Xenos right away. So if you are purchasing a Xenos index, you probably are going to get more mileage out of it than if you were buying a Imperium or a Chaos index. So there's that. But yeah, overall, very excited. I can't wait to get my hands on these rules, regardless of how much I have to pay for it, regardless of the pain of having to buy multiple books and deal with that. But I'm still overall very excited and super enthusiastic to try these rules out. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming.